Hey, what's up guys? Jay here. Welcome back to another video. Today I'm taking you through 10 core exercises that are going to take your functional strength and stability to the next level. These 10 are in no particular order. These are just 10 that I use frequently to work all aspects of the core. So we're not just focusing on those six-pack muscles and the rectus abdominis. We're focusing on those obliques as well as the transverse abdominis, those deep muscles of the core that are often overlooked in people's training routines. These exercises are going to hit rotation, anti-rotation, extension, anti-extension, and hip flexion. So make sure you guys are taking notes, start building these exercises into your routine, and start leveling up your functional core strength.
Exercise number one, we have the hanging single leg oblique knee raises. Great functional exercise. It's going to certainly help build some grip strength, but also really work some hip flexion. So we're targeting the rectus abdominis as well as the obliques, especially as we twist at the top, bringing the knee to the opposite elbow with that knee drive. So key technique points here, we're in a dead hang, but the scapula is engaged. So you're not just relaxed as you're in that dead hang. You want to utilize your arms as little as possible. So a little bit of bend is okay, but try and keep your arms as straight as you can to put more focus on the core. Notice my control throughout the movement. So I'm lifting up and across the body, bringing my knee to my opposite elbow, and then I'm lowering down with really good control back to that starting position. When getting after this exercise, the best way to do this is to go for reps. So I would go anywhere from 6 to 8 reps per side, 3 to 4 total sets. Exercise number two, we have the kneeling band Pallof press. So I like doing these from the kneeling position most often because it removes a lot of the lower body from the equation and helps isolate the core a little bit more. So it's one of my favorite anti-rotational core exercises. The main focus on this exercise, again, is fighting against that rotation. So we're going to anchor a light to medium band to something about chest level. Make sure we have good tension on the band so that when we press those arms out to full extension, that band's going to be pulling us in strongly towards that anchor point. So we have to fight against that rotation. So we're working more of the deeper core muscles with this exercise. So the internal obliques, some of the transverse abdominis, as well as the multifidi. With this exercise, I generally like going for reps. So I go anywhere from 10 to 20 reps, focusing on perfect technique, 3 to 4 total sets. Exercise three, we have the stability ball plank saw with a hold. This is a fantastic anti-extension exercise that's targeting the entire core, but even more specifically some of those deeper core muscles like the transverse abdominis, especially as we fully extend out. So we're fighting against the extension. So the further out that we roll those arms out, the more challenging it's going to be to maintain good core and hip alignment. So it's just a fantastic all-around core stability and core strength exercise. So forearm plank position is very important here. Glutes are tight, abs are tucked in, shoulders are slightly protracted. Maintain that perfect position throughout the movement. So as far as you extend those arms out, you should still be able to maintain perfect plank position. If you cannot, don't roll out quite as far. Also very important, make sure you get that hold in at the end. Really blast that core and challenge that core with that hold in the extension. I generally go for reps with this exercise, anywhere from 15 to 20 reps, 3 to 4 total sets. Exercise four, we have the rotational medicine ball throw. Love this exercise. Awesome rotational exercise. It's going to help us build strength and power, and not just the core, but also the hips, which is a super important part in building overall functional core strength and power. It's very important to utilize the lower body. So notice that I'm pivoting on the foot furthest away from the wall. So really pivot on that foot, rotate the hips, and then throw that ball as hard as you can, trying to focus on throwing it mostly with your core. Obviously your arms are doing work here, and we're putting in work with the arms, and the arms play a role, but try and focus as much as you can on letting the core do all of the throwing against the wall. We then catch that ball, bring it back to that starting position, and then repeat. Again, be as powerful as possible in every single rep. Go for anywhere from 10 to 15 reps, 3 to 4 total sets. Exercise number five, we have the sit-up plus core twist. So working some hip flexion, working the rectus abdominis in that sit-up, and then working some rotational and anti-rotational strength, and targeting those obliques in that core twist. So it's just a great combo movement, very functional. We're often on our backs, sitting up and off the floor. So the sit-up, while it gets a lot of hate, is a functional core exercise that we need to be working. want you guys keeping your arms straight on the sit-up to isolate the core. Really think about pulling your arms or your elbows back behind your body on each core twist to really engage those obliques. I want you guys going for time or for reps. If you're going for time, 45 to 60 seconds. If you're going for reps, anywhere from 6 to 10 reps, doing 3 to 4 total sets. Exercise number 6, bear plank rows. Really awesome and really challenging anti-rotational core exercise where we're working the entire core with this movement. By bending the knees and getting into this bear plank row, we remove a lot of the lower body's ability to help stabilize our core and hips when we row, making it even more challenging than our traditional renegade rows. We want to have those knees right under our hips, back as flat as possible. We want to mitigate the shifting of the hips as much as we possibly can. So anti-rotational core exercise. So minimize the shifting side to side as much as possible. There certainly will be a little bit of shifting, but lock it in as best as you possibly can when you row. When you go into that row, think about rowing towards your belt line, keeping the elbow nice and tight to the body and lowering that bell back down to the floor with really good control. We can go for reps with this, 8 to 10 reps per side. We can also go for time, 45 to 60 seconds, 3 to 4 total sets. Exercise number 7, we have the pail-up press isometric hold. This is a beastly anti-rotational core exercise. We're working the same muscles as the kneeling pail-up press. We're doing this exercise standing. You can obviously do it kneeling as well if you want to. We're using a light to medium resistance band, preferably a medium resistance band. We're going to anchor this band to something right about chest level. We're fully extending those arms out in front of the body and keeping them straight. We're fighting against the rotation. So that band's going to want to pull us in towards that anchor point. So keep those arms directly out in front of your body. Do not let your arms or hands go in at all. You need to fight against that rotation. We're also going to be standing with this exercise, like I said in the beginning, so we're going to be utilizing the glutes and the hips and building stability in the glutes and hips as well with this exercise. So I want you guys to have soft knees. So knees are slightly bent to really put more focus on the core as opposed to that lower body. So slightly bend those knees, lock those hips in, toes pointed straight ahead. We're going for time with this exercise, anywhere from 30 to 45 seconds, 3 to 4 total sets. Exercise number 8, split stance core rotations using the landmine. You can also use dumbbell or kettlebell instead. So in that split stance position, bringing that barbell up towards the midline of the body, decelerating that weight right at the midline, and then pulling it back down to that starting position. So we're building rotational and anti-rotational strength with a little bit of a power focus on this. So I want you to really pull that barbell up with power and really focus on decelerating that weight at the midline and not letting it pass the midline. So we have rotation when we pull that barbell up, and then anti-rotation as we decelerate and stop that barbell at the top. We're gonna go for reps, anywhere from 8 to 10 reps per side, 3 to 4 total sets. Exercise number 9, we have the stability ball stir the pot. So it's gonna have a very similar feel to the plank saw and similar benefits as well. So we have an anti-extension component as well as a rotational / anti-rotational component. This exercise is pretty much targeting the entire core. Like the plank saw, we have to maintain perfect hip and core positioning as we circle around and fully extend those arms out with control. So notice my tempo in every single rep, slow, controlled reps. Lock those hips in as best as you possibly can. We're going for time, 45 to 60 seconds, or for reps, 10 to 15 reps per side, doing 3 to 4 total sets. Exercise number 10, we have goblet marches. You guys can use a kettlebell, dumbbell, or whatever you have. It's going to offer some resistance. We're working more than just the core with this movement. We're also working some upper body, so more specifically posterior shoulders, just supporting that weight in that goblet position. We're also working some lower body balance and stability with those marches. Make sure you guys are bringing your knees above the creases of your hip on every single rep, and make sure you guys are marching with control. The further out you hold that kettlebell or whatever weight you're using from your body, the more challenging this is going to be on the upper body and the core. Again, make sure you guys are going as heavy as you possibly can with this while maintaining excellent technique. We're going to go for time, anywhere from 45 to 60 seconds, doing 3 to 4 total sets.